3, 2, 1.
Thiruvalluvar College, Papanasam, a 2 days national webinar on NAAC accreditation and prospects and retrospects, and 5th 6th August 2020, organized by the Department of History. A warm welcome to all Department of History, and I am Dr. Rajesh, Organizing Secretary, Assistant Professor, Thiruvalluvar College, Papanasam, and with my best blessings of our college secretary, Guru Maga Sannidhanam, Thiruvalluvar College, Papanasam, and Honorable Principal Dr. Sundaram sir, and college committee member and self-finance director and former principal Dr. C. Alagappan sir, and administrative officer Mr. R. Natarajan sir, and respected Dr. Ravisankar sir, IQAC coordinator, head of the Department of History. Welcome sir, welcome to all, and good morning everybody. Now I would like to invite respected Ravishankar sir. Please deliver to the felicitation for this event. Sir, welcome sir.
Rajesh?
Sir, proceed sir. Welcome sir.
Yes. Respected our Secretary Kurumuga Sannidhanam, Holiness, our respected Principal Dr. Sundaram sir, and our respected energetic Professor and Organizing Secretary of this 2 days NAAC program, Dr. Rajesh, and our department colleague Dr. Veeran and Dr.A.Adaikalam, and all the participants, those who participated yesterday and today. First of all, I say my good morning to all of you. So, Mr. Rajesh, for the last 20 days, asked me to give felicitation. So, one side I am really happy because I was given a good opportunity to talk something or to share my views to all the participants through Dr. Rajesh. So I think that since we are having some online classes in our regular classes, during this tight schedule, Mr. Rajesh is taking a very good effort for all the participants regarding NAAC. So yesterday also I shared my views, and yesterday I hope that yesterday program was highly useful to all the participants, and today also a very important one. It's a higher education, the quality in higher education. I don't like to say anything about the present government policy of higher education, but higher education, if you talk about higher education, we can speak more than hours together. But today, the entire world, that is the today 21st century, every country are highly interested on paying their attention towards the improvement of quality in their country's higher education. Higher education not only generates a large number of personnels, but it is it has many aspects of development in the nation, such as intellectuals creating a social cultural connection and economical aspects, moral, human resources. These are directly or indirectly related with the quality of higher education. So whenever we improve quality in higher education, automatically in the social, cultural, and intellectual activities and economic, everything will be improved. So that's why the higher education, quality in higher education is a great concern today. But due to the government efforts after independence, we can say that higher education has witnessed a tremendous changes. You know that due to increasement of universities, colleges, and students' enrollment after independence, it shows that the government steps, that is a tremendous changes took place one side. But that's why whenever the number of universities, colleges are increasing, the government paid some attention towards the improvement of quality of education in these universities and colleges. That's why in 2013, a centrally sponsored scheme was created, as everyone know. It is Rakshtriya Uchchastar Shiksha Abhinaya, that's the Hindi word known. That's 2013. So even though the government established this kind of centrally sponsored institution to look after, to monitor, or to improve, or to fund the universities and colleges to improve the higher education. After that, there was we found that some tremendous changes, or some that is called the enrollment ratio was increased. Of course, the enrollment ratio was increased in all the states after the establishment of this kind of centrally sponsored scheme. But the quality is a matter of concern today. That's a problem. The quality of that is called matter is a concern. Even though we are having very big universities, even IIT, MIT is on so many universities, institutions, a very old one. But today, there is a challenge for higher education. That is a very important one. Only because of the poor infrastructure of the institutions and the examination ridden curriculum. That is also a great burden or a great challenge to the quality of in higher education. And memory-based education, that is a very, very great problem. Always memory. Then lack of quality of faculty members. Even after completing degree, they are appointed as teachers and simply teaching something. So there is a great challenge for faculty members. Lack of qualities. Then poor teaching methods. As I already Professor NAAC overall view, that's the topic he explained that poor teaching methods and using tools. Simply going to the classroom and teaching, reading the book and teaching something, and then after the bell is ring, then coming out. There's a very, very poor teaching methods and also lack of funds. Everyone knows. Sometimes the inconsistency of the government policy also a great challenges, and the vested political motivation, that is huge demand of young peoples and the lack of access. So many reasons are there, but just I find out some reasons. These are the great challenges for the development of Indian Indian education, especially in the quality in higher education. So I hope that the today's speakers going to analyze, going to give all what are the things, what's the burden, what are the hurdles for improving quality in higher education. So each and everyone is must think about this one at present day, because we must learn our Indian education system. We must compete with the other world powers. So definitely every nation today, you know that every nation is giving more importance for higher education, especially quality in higher education. So it's a need of the government to give quality in higher education, and everyone must always be welcome the quality of higher education. So it's a very problem, and there are so many challenges. But how to overcome the challenges, it is in our hands. So now the today's our speaker is going to clearly explain what are the challenges and what's the position of higher education and what are the quality, what's the quality in higher education. So I don't like to go in deep all these things since we are having limited time. I finish my felicitation address, and I thank first again I welcome the new speaker of today program, and Dr. Rajesh, because for the last 15 days he continuously conducting so many webinar classes, and a day after some 2 days after also he is going to conduct some workshop also, I heard that. So really happy because he conducted a very, very important relevant topic, right time, right place, right person. He conducted the program, and I wish the program get success, and I request Rajesh to continue same program or any all the programs to regularly up to the opening of the colleges, and it will benefit to all the participants. And on behalf of Thiruvalluvar College and as a coordinator of IQAC, I thank all the participants so far attended the programs, and the today participants and the future participants also. And again, I thank all the participants and my respected as well as respectable as well as my energetic, young, efficient, enthusiastic Professor Dr. Rajesh for having given this good opportunity to felicitate this program, and I wish God to get success of this program. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for effective deliver the felicitation address. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, next, then I would like to deliver to the introduction resource person. I invite Ms. B. Anushya. Yeah, Anushya, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Am I
Very
audible?
good. Yeah, audible, ma'am. Good morning, good morning.
A very good morning to one and all gathered here. Those successful leaders are not born, they are made. They are made only by their hard work. They become great not because of pioneer, but because of their ability to empower others. It takes me an immense pleasure to welcome you all for the session. First and foremost, I would like to welcome today's resource person, Dr.Syed Wajeed, Associate Professor, Department of Microbiology, St.Joseph College, Bengaluru, Karnataka. He has completed his BSc in Microbiology, Chemistry and Zoology, MSc in Microbiology, JRF Net in Life Sciences. He has completed his doctorate in microbial biochemistry. And to be noted, dealing with microorganisms is not such an easy task to do. One should live with those microorganisms, observe them 24/7, and perform assays and should get the result. Such a great man who has such do these things is none other than a resource person who is a university rank holder in his postgraduate in microbiology, as well as a topper in his undergraduate courses in microbiology, chemistry, and zoology. He is having a 20 years of teaching experience in microbiology. He is also the director of IQAC, coordinator of choice-based credit system, which is an emerging trend now. He is a nodal officer in NIRF India and the coordinator of Paramash. He is also a member of Board of Studies in Indian Academy Degree College, Bengaluru, and Board of Advisors in Nilgiris College of Arts and Science. This great man is also a member of Curriculum Development Cell of Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. He has published 3 research articles in various journals. I take it my blessing to welcome Dr. Syed Wajeed, Associate Professor, St. Joseph College, Bengaluru, Karnataka for the session. On behalf of Department of History, Thiruvalluvar College, Papanasam, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your introduction. Should I begin my session?
Yeah, yes, sir. Hand over the session, resource person. Sir, welcome, sir. Syed Wajeed, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, carry on, sir. Hand over the session, sir.
Yeah. Can I share the screen? If you can stop the screen sharing, then I can.
Wait, sir, wait.
Can I share the screen, Dr. Rajesh?
No, sir. No, sure, sir.
Can you all see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fine. Yeah, fine, sir. Proceed, sir.
Yeah. Okay, good morning, everyone. So at the outset, let me thank Dr.L.Ravisankar, IQAC coordinator of Thiruvalluvar College, Dr. Rajesh, for inviting me to share the little experience that I have regarding the same. So to begin with, I have been asked to talk on best practices in higher education. Also, Dr. Ravishankar was highlighting about the challenges that we face regarding higher education. So let me take you through the journey. Now, the theme that I see here, NAAC accreditation. Sorry, could you hear me? Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the theme, as I see here, is like, NAAC accreditation, prospects and retrospects. So all the colleges would have gone for NAAC accreditation, or the ones who are planning to go for the same, you would know what would be the prospects once you take part in the NAAC. What is going to be good about the NAAC is, like, it is going to ensure what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. You have a lot of opportunities that you could explore. It would also tell you about your weaknesses. Okay, so with that retrospection, you have to move forward and see what are the best practices which are there in your higher education institution that can be strengthened, and what are those that are there in your sister concern or the other higher educational institution that you can take it. I want to start with this quote. Education to be complete must include not only the training of the intellect, but also the refinement of the heart and the discipline of the spirit. So here, through education, we are not only trying to give them the technology, or we are not just giving them the knowledge, we are not just transferring that. We would want a student, he or she, to become a kind of an individual where they can be better citizens for the country and also the globe. Now, this was what was said by S. Radhakrishnan, former president of our. As you have been witnessing the way things are changing, there are a lot of changes within the country, also the globe. Now, we need to be also be changing accordingly. Now, higher education institutions, once we are a part of it, that means we have a very important role to play in order to be sensitive towards the emerging challenges and also the pressing issues. That means we need to be aware of the current situations, the problems that we are in, and try to be proactive. It's everyone's job to be proactive, to cater or to work on the emerging challenges and pressing issues. We need to reflect on that through higher educational institution. That is the programs that we offer, the activities that we carry out, the functioning of the entire higher education. We need to ensure that these issues are being addressed through our programs or activities or our higher educational institutions. Okay. Now, when I say that you are going to make students a better citizens, that means when they are with you for the 3 years of undergraduation or the 2 years of post graduation, you need to inculcate in them certain values. So I was talking about the challenges. Now, in order to address those challenges, the first thing is, like, our important goal of any higher education institution is to make students aware of their skills, let them learn those skills, the knowledge, at the same time be sensitive towards the environment that they are present. So what are the values that we want students to get to be inculcated? The first thing is honesty and integrity. Carry out your practices such a way that every student will learn this value of how to be honest and how to be connected with everyone. Second value that we would want them, they should be sensitive towards the environment. The third thing that I'm talking here about is the character formation. Carry out the activities in your institutions where there is building of the character of a student. Then they need to also be aware of what local problems that we are facing, what global problems we are facing, and everyone should be a part in solving those problems. They need to also be aware of gender equality and equity. Okay, that they need to know that they belong to a particular category and there are also others who live with them. At the same time, what role each one should be playing, give them the due share. That is what I talk about, the equity. Cleanliness and hygiene, very, very important. Again, we need to be aware of those and try to conscientize the same for the students. inclusiveness. We all have to live together. Harmony, peace has to be there. So try to build a community with inclusiveness. Proactive, you can't see things when they go wrong. You need to be proactive and try to address whatever the issues that you have. And very important is we need to be ethical professionally. As a student, there are ethics. As a teacher, there are ethics. As an individual, there are ethics. So we need to be aware of the same, and then we need to carry them forward. So when I talk about best practices, what exactly are these best practices? A practice that I would be following or the institution is following, if that practice gives a kind of a commendable value to an institution and its stakeholders, then you would call that as a best practice. I adopted a practice, I have followed that practice that has given me good results, not only to me in person, to the department, to the institution, because of which others see our higher education institution as one of the best institution because of these practices. So we have to share our best practices with others for others to learn and adopt this. At the same time, use the word share, you need to also learn from others as to what are their best practices. No one can say that, we are complete. We have got something, but we have to work more and more. I have something good in me. I'll have to maintain that. I'll have to sustain that. At the same time, from good, how should I become better and the best? So always there is scope for you to kind of improve. So as I said that, we're going to talk about the best practices here. Okay. So when you say a best practice, yes, you need to look around, introspect, as your theme of the seminar goes, introspect. You check yourself as to what is that you are following. How good are they, what you are following? Have you got really good results, the good output, or the end outcome was good? That means you need to evaluate that and then move forward. Okay, but when you have to start, what you need to do is think of a practice, and whatever skills that are required for that practice, you need to strategize those, develop them. Okay, get the process ready and implement that process towards solving a particular problem. So you are looking for, you have got some solutions, and try to incorporate the same and bring in a lot of quality in the way that you kind of carry it out. Okay, and obviously you are going to be successful in whatever that you have thought of. Okay, so you start a process, you follow the process, look at the results that you get it, evaluate it, and be happy about the practice that you have, so that others can learn from you. Now, these practices can be starting from an individual. I am a teacher. I have a practice of reaching down to the student level, making a student learn whatever I have to be passing it on. I have very good practices of making students learn and make them better citizen. That means I have a best practice, which if my department people look at it and they also are happy about what I'm doing and they adapt that, then from individual it will move on to the departmental level. If departments are really doing well with that practice, if the institution, the other departments get to know about it, they also would want to adopt it, then that become kind of institutionalized. Okay, so everyone plays a very, very important role in carrying out certain practices. A good one that can be moved from the individual to the department and to the institution. It could also be from top-down approach, where the management of your institution can think of certain practices and they might ask you to follow the same thing. So it can come from the institution. So they would pass it on to the departments, telling each of the department, kindly follow this practice. Now, if departments are very good at imparting the same, where every individual have got adapted to that particular practice, that means from institution to department to individual, it has come down. Okay, so that is how you are going to start with the practices. So today's talk, I'm going to talk about certain best practices that we are following at our institution, which I also have presented the same before the NAAC webinar. So we are one of the institutions which has A++ score for the NAAC, which we have around 3.79 on 4. Okay, it is one of the leading college in the country. And NAAC asked all the A++ college to share their best practices to all. If you can also go and check on the YouTube, Engaging Minds and Hearts, you would get to see my lecture with principal and my other colleagues as to what we have spoken about the best practices. So some of that I thought I would also share the same with you when Dr. Rajesh asked me to present or talk to a group of fellows who are going to be joining for the webinar. So I thought what best would be than sharing our best practices. Okay, so what I'm going to be highlighting here, I say I have a best practice. What is the objective of that best practice? Why have we thought of that best practice? In what context have we thought of that best practice? What is the practice that we have? What is the process that we are following of the best practice? If we have followed that, what is the evidence of success? Have we got it? Okay, have I met the objectives, whatever I had it? And then when I say I have followed certain practices, they are not problem free. You might have encountered a lot of problems, but how are you going to handle those problems? So let me now take you through some of the practices that we follow. Okay, now why should you think of innovating these practices? Okay, so the IQAC coordinator, Dr. Ravisankar, was telling that we face a lot of challenges. Higher education, our job is to make the students learn the skills and the knowledge and make them better citizens. What we need to introspect, the theme again, introspect. You need to check what is your mode of involving the students in higher education. Are you just bringing them to a class and just giving them a lecture, sending back? Or is there something more that you're doing? Is something what you need to do it? Okay, so there are ways of teaching students certain practices that you do, what you call it as a passive teaching method. There are certain which is cooperating learning methods. You all might be familiar with Bloom's taxonomy. There we go from a kind of a low learning to that of a mediocre to that of a high learning. So from low learning, you need to move towards the high learning. When you talk about higher education, that means you should be challenging students to the skills which are challenging for them, but the outcome of that is going to be very good. Most of us give lectures in the class. I'm giving you a lecture. You listen to the lecture, you try to understand, but how much of the knowledge is getting retained is around 5%. If I make a student read and come for a class and then I deliver a lecture, then the retention is around 10%. If I presented an audio visual, just like what I'm trying to do now here is, then the retention is going to be 20%. If I demonstrate certain skills, that means the student is looking at it, observing it, interpreting it, that means the 30% retention. But if in my teaching, I go a little higher, where I can get groups of the students, give them a topic, ask them to discuss, and then present the same to the class, that means the retention there is going to be 50%, because the student got involved in understanding first, then trying to discuss with the friends, and then presenting. If you further have to move down, it's not only you discuss a particular strategy, then make them also follow that up, practice it by doing. So when you do that, the retention is going to do. I have thought of a proposal. I have carried that proposal out. That means I'm carrying it out. That is, my retention is around 75%. At the same time, I have learned something. I'm teaching it to others. When I teach it, when I have to teach it to others, I need to really know the concepts well. So I try to learn better so that I can teach better. That means my retention is going to be 90%. So there is requirement from every teacher that, in your teaching, you move from your low learning level to the higher learning level, so that you can be proud of telling that, yes, I have done something good for the students, where I have not just giving a lecture to them, I have made them being a part, make them knowledge creator rather than knowledge assimilators. They can assimilate the knowledge, but if they can create the knowledge from their own, that's going to be excellent. So that is something that we need to be looking for. That's the reason why we need to look for certain practices, or why we need to look for innovations. So what I want to share with you is, like, in students, we look for three things. One is academic excellence. We want a student to excel in whatever that they do academically. Second thing that we look for is, like, character formation. That means 3 years that are there, they need to have inculcated lot of values, which I just spoke some time back. Then the third thing is social concern. I need to be also sensitive to the society that I'm living. So if these three things are there, academic excellence, character formation, social concern, that means a student would be complete in his or her education. So let me share our practice of what we do for academic excellence. We are an autonomous institution. That means you have the flexibility of designing the curriculum. The colleges who does not have the flexibility of designing the curriculum, you might have to adopt the curriculum that has been designed, but don't stay with that. You can also do much more. Let me share what you can do. So first, let me talk about, like, if you have to design the curriculum. So what we do is, as a department, we would talk to each other. Then we start, referring a lot of curriculum offered by various reputed institutions of the country, of the world. Understand that, you design the curriculum. After you design the curriculum, share that curriculum with the experts in the field within the country and the globe. Then later, you call for a board of studies meeting. The board of studies meeting will have expert from academia, from industry. You will have alumni. A lot of these people would be there. So now you present that curriculum that you have designed for them, get it vetted by them, you let them give the critique and all those suggestions you incorporate the same. Once you have incorporated, obviously your curriculum is going to be excellent. You also need to include in them whatever, challenges that the society is facing. In those areas you can include. So, you are the master in designing your curriculum. Try to look at it and design the best that you can offer to the students. Now, for the colleges who don't get to design the curriculum, what they can do is, they can get whatever curriculum that is there, look at the curriculum, introspect, that the term, I mean, again and again I'm using, you introspect the curriculum and see how can you make this curriculum vibrant, how can I make this curriculum very active. So what you can do, those colleges who are affiliated, now I can't design the curriculum, but I can teach that curriculum really well. That means you need to be very, very innovative in delivering that curriculum to the students, and for delivery use varied pedagogy, just not lecture based. You also use a lot of these pedagogies like research based pedagogy. Give them problems, let them search for it, and then come to the class and discuss the surveys and all that done. So it can be through a research based pedagogy. You can create a lot of discussion forums in your classes where they can discuss and they can do presentations. Then you can also take them to the field, let them learn through field based activities. Audio visuals you present based on eminent speakers on a particular topic they would have discussed, delivered. You can share those videos with them. Invite a lot of people who are expertise to the students. TED Talks, what we talk about, where they can inspire faculty and students. Okay, a lot of students based forums can be made where they can do a lot of activities. And then blended learning. So this is the in thing with all the ICT enabled technology these days. There's a lot of blended learning. So it's not only what I teach in the class is completing. You need to give them some material before they come to class, discuss it, and after they complete, again give them some material. A lot of activities that you need to blend together and make them more of adaptive learners. rather than just like, lecture based. Okay. So you have your curriculum, you make your curriculum more vibrant with your pedagogy. So you need to work on your pedagogy. And the third thing is like, also try to inculcate research practices in the students, right, at the undergraduate level. So we, at the undergraduate level itself, we make students do carry out research. There is a mandatory research work. For PG students, they have dissertation in the 4th semester. And all those who don't do research term paper, we make those students do mandatory internships so that there is more of learning that's kind of happening. Now, all your activities is not only classroom based or more of academic. Students can learn also through a lot of co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Okay. So when you're designing your curriculum, it's not only the syllabi, and the activities what students are going to do for 3 years or 2 years of their undergraduate or the postgraduate programs. So there are a lot of fests that we organize from the college, a lot of activities we plan from the departments association. We conduct conferences, workshops, seminars, make students attain the same, make students also present their work, what they do from the term paper and all of those. Then we organize a lot of study tours, and we also conduct a lot of literary and cultural events. And at the same time, a good mentoring where you can follow up the process of students learning and how they are moving from the semester 1 to that of the semester 6. So try to provide all the care, just like the mothers do for their kids. A teacher have to take care of their students, supervise whatever they're doing, and monitor their progression. Okay, these are certain things that we do in order to bring in good academics in the students. At the same time, we also make students form their character and be connected with the society. So there are certain programs called as Igniter programs that we organize for the students at every start of the academic year, first year, second year, and third year. Hello, can you hear me? Dr. Rajesh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Should I proceed?
Participants, please mute your audio. Participants, please mute your audio.
Okay. Shall I proceed?
Yeah, carry on, sir. Carry on. Proceed, sir.
Okay. So I said we carry out certain programs for the students. One is the Igniters program.
Yeah, carry on, sir. Carry on.
Okay. Some disturbance was happening. So.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So I said there are two programs that we carry out. One is the Igniters program, and the other one is the human resource development. Now, as I said, students, they should be formed. So you have to bring in a lot of, activities for the students where, you can ignite creativity in them, critical thinking in them. They can come up with some constructive actions and, so that they can connect with the society. So we bring in a lot of experts who, deliberate a lot of, discussions with the students, make them do certain activities and all of that. And also we carry out HRD programs where we make them be aware of self, how to improve their personality, how to get connected with the family, take care of their health. If they have any addictions, how to come out of those addictions, how to connect themselves to the psycho-spiritual thing. Then interreligious tolerance, that is something that again we try to inculcate in them. And finally also help them to there for the career guidance. Okay, and then also a lot of green initiatives that we have brought onto the campus. We have rooftop solar panel which produces so much of the power. We have received a power award from our Karnataka government also for the same. We have rainwater harvesting, sewage treatment plant, biogas, recharge pits, paper recycling. Now, all of these activities are there. You should make students be aware of that, and also give them some sort of task so that they can, get involved in the process, so that they are aware of what's happening in the institution and how once they go out should be connecting. And we also carry out a lot of outreach activities through this particular program called as Bambara. Okay, these are some pictures to just say that what are the activities. So our efforts are towards conservation, preservation, and restoration of the nature that we are in. So let me go a little bit in depth about two of our best practices. One is what we call Research Forum. Okay, now this is for all of you who are a part of it, for you to take back something from this particular session that you also can think. If you are doing these things, I'm very happy about it. And at the same time, if you have not tried to learn something which you can take back to your colleges. So here, under this forum, we try to, cater to students research and faculty research. Okay, now we need to be engaged in research. That is, the faculty as well as students, both of them should be active in the research. Okay, so what are the objectives that we have? The objectives for student research: we want to provide platform for the students to come and discuss the questions that they have, so that those questions, after they discuss, they conceptualize in a short term paper, a research proposal, and they come and present to the teachers. Teachers are going to guide those, clear, so that by the end of the their academic program, they are going to present one research article. Okay, and which can also be presented in various conferences. And we want them to start this from the first semester, so that they complete it as a guided term paper by the faculty as they graduate. That's the objective for the students research. For the faculty research, we want to promote faculty research, because research is very, very important for teachers. If I do research, that means my teaching skills are going to get better. That means I can be a good teacher. I can connect better with the students and make them also carry out research. Okay, so our college try to earmark certain amount of money, which we give it to the faculty to carry out the research. What we call it as the seed money. Just like how you would apply for minor projects, major projects, our faculty should be applying for the same. And the research committee of our college will go through the proposals, and if the proposals are really good, then they are going to be given the seed money so that they can carry out the research. Okay, and then our research committee also mentors the faculty to write and procure major grants. So we give them money for a minor project. Once they complete it, we ask them to write for the major projects, and whatever the results that come out, they have to be publishing in some very good peer-reviewed journals. So that's the objective. So as I said, we are engaged more with the road based, that is like more of lecture based and all. So for students, we want them to move from that lecture based to experiential learning and research based learning. So that they experience what research is. They also come out with certain good outcome. But through this journey, they might have learned so much that they might have learned in your just classroom teaching. Okay, and for teachers, again, research, as I told you, that teachers gets better if they are engaged with the research. So my sincere advice, all the faculty who are with teaching also get into research. And obviously, once you do some research, you get some data which you need to be publishing the same thing. Okay, so what is the process that we follow here? As I told you some time back, that there is funding. Our college gets fund from various funding agencies. For students, we have DBT projects from Department of Biotechnology. So there is little money that we allocate from the funding that comes for students project. Okay, so students would come, present their research proposals. If they are good research proposal, from the DBT money, under a teacher's supervision, we grant them some money so the students can carry out the research. For faculty research, the senior faculty would write projects, from the various funding agencies, whereas for the junior research would have just joined with the PhD with not much of the research exposure in writing of things. So when they write proposals, if they are good proposals, our management, which is Bangalore Jesuits Education Society, so they are going to sponsor. So every year 50 lakhs of money would be granted for the research activities of our college, and from that money, depending on the proposal and the requirement, so much money would be given for individual faculty to carry out the research. Once we have granted them the money, what we do is we invite the research proposals from both the students and the faculty. So students would get the research proposal ready, meet a research teacher, get it approved by them, and then they kind of propose the same thing. Whereas faculty also would get the research proposal ready, and they go and meet the senior faculty, show the research proposals, and try to get it more stronger, and then they kind of come and present it to the research committee. So once they have been approved of, the money is granted, they can carry out the research, and then we conduct research colloquiums where students can also present the research work that they carry out. Faculty can also present the work that they carry out. Okay, so good work, once they present at the research colloquium, we encourage them to publish the same. Okay, we also motivate students and faculty to present the work at various conferences and all of those. Okay, so this is the practice that we follow under this Josephite Research Forum. What has been the impact for students? Because we provided the platform, now we see the students have become active learners. Okay, they engage themselves into a lot of discussions on the campus. They present their proposals, not only here, they also go and present themselves in various conferences and all of those. Okay, so their presentation skills have got better, their discussion skills have got better because of this forum. That's the impact that we see. We have received many research proposals from the undergraduate students because of the grooming that's kind of happening. Also, now students know what a research proposal is, and they try to get it structured, and they adopt a very organized way of a proposal, and they present the same thing. Research presentations they do at various conferences and the seminars. Okay, and what we have seen because of this practice, our students take up a lot of entrance examination for post-graduation. Their student progression is excellent. They move from UG to that of the PG. Then also students have got admitted in varied reputed universities within the country and also the other country. So that means that this is what would tells that yes, the practice that we have is an excellent one, and it has given us some good results. So we should strengthen this practice much more. What is the impact of the faculty research that we see here? The faculty research is, we see that there is increase in the number of publication as you go. Okay, from the year 15-16, where the publications was 116, it has now gone to 150. Not only that, every research article we have received good citations. Okay, citation is an indication that the research publication are of a high quality. So good quality research is kind of happening. Okay, because of which you see a kind of a good citation also. So this is what you are going to look for, the evidence of success. I said you have an objective. In what context you have this objective, then you have to follow certain process and then try to measure the impact of that practice. Okay, and then also look at the problems that you have encountered. Okay, so if you have encountered any problems, why have you encountered those problems, and how do you overcome those problems? So initially we might have encountered the problems like not many students used to be a part of this Josephite Research Forums. That was the problem. How did you overcome this problem? So every class mentor, we used to go to the classes, talk to them about this particular research forum, what are the benefits of these. So then more and more participation came in from the students, more teachers became a part of this research forum. So now there is active engagement of the research that's kind of happening. So the research The funding became a problem. Then we have asked our management now have sponsored one research lab, a common research lab for the students where they can carry out the research. A lot of research equipments have been bought by the departments, which we have housed it in the research place so that they can carry out the research. Okay, faculty, time was a constraint, so now the timetable has been made in such a way that some dedicated time can also be given for them to carry out the research. So these were some problems which we have also encountered the same thing. Okay, this is one of the best practice that I presented before you. That is, the student research and the faculty research have been promoted. Okay, hope you have understood this part. So I'll talk about another best practice, that is what we call it as the BEMBELA, which is a exchange. If it's a community extension activities is what we are going to do present it here. So here, what are the objectives that we had it? Okay, here we wanted students to engage, understand, and critically reflect on social realities. That means we are happy, but outside, lot of people are going through a lot of issues. Okay, not everyone are happy. If I'm happy doesn't mean that the entire country is happy, the entire world is happy. So many of them are going through a lot of problems. To make students aware that these are the problems that the society is facing, that's our objective. Our objective is to make the students be aware of the social responsibility, to conscientize them what's happening outside, and make them also accountable towards marginalized and oppressed. So that's a main objective of a college, also to help the marginalized and the oppressed. Okay, and also provide students for them to discuss, get creativity out, get the talent out, and so that can be used to address the issues that the students are facing. And then also to promote college community interaction. That is, as a college, we are going to interact with the community, and we are going to also be collaborating with a lot of NGOs within the district and also the state, and then together we work as an inclusive society. Okay, so in what context this sort of practice was there from years. Okay, but recent, some 4 years back, what we thought, we need to have one dedicated center. So that's the reason we have this outreach program center, the Josephite Outreach Program, which is carried out by a center called as Outreach Center. So we have dedicated staff there, dedicated faculty there, who would plan all this sort of program, and then every mentor also gets connected. So through the team, through the mentors, we carry out this activity. It's more kind of structured now. Okay, and what is the process that we do? So the first thing that we do is, we do a survey. We go to sites, we do surveys there, study that what is the problem that people are facing, come back, analyze that, and you evaluate that. Once you evaluate, this is the problem, we have a solution. If we give the solution, that means the problem can get better. Then our college would get connected with the community. So the community where we went to understand a problem, now we get connected. We would sign a kind of a mutual understanding, a letter of understanding or a memorandum of understanding, and then we plan what action has to be taken, and then we carry it out through the students. So we have a center, we have teachers, then we have students. So this way we connect to the society. Okay, so what are the areas that we have been working on? So we have worked on senior citizens. Okay, senior citizens, their concerns we have understood. Some schemes that were available already, which government had it, we make the senior citizens aware of those schemes, and also we extended the support from a college, whatever best that we could do it. So for specially abled or disabled, again, their concerns were addressed, their competencies were enhanced by certain trainings. Okay, and also what rights they have, so those were made aware of to them. So women's literacy, their livelihood, their health. We worked on children's education, their health, their rights. Sexual minorities, their rights, their livelihood, their education. Youth, their rights, their education, and their employment. This is roughly to tell you that is the areas that we have been working on. Okay, so to give you the impact or the witness of what all went to that particular program. So there were rural exposure camps that were conducted. You could see students being active where they could just go and clean up the villages and all of that which were required, and then this is going to instill a lot of sensitivity amongst the villagers also, that they need to keep their surroundings clean so that they don't suffer from those pandemics, or also these days you are suffering from whatever this issue that we have, okay, the endemic diseases or the pandemic diseases. Okay, some of the activities you could see here on the slide. Okay, so our students also go to a lot of government schools and they conduct a lot of activities for the students to make them aware that they need to move from that lower education, primary education, to that of the secondary and the higher education and all of that. So they also go and inspire them to do much more. So these are some of the schools that we have been working with within the vicinity of a college. And then we also go to a lot of old age homes. We support the AIDS patients, then cancer patients, and all those activities that we carried out. Okay, also kind of cleanliness drive, a lot of parks within the vicinity. On say Republic Day on August 15th, a lot of public would gather in these parks and all. Students go there, conscientize them about the cleanliness and all. They also go for the cleanliness drive. You could see some of the activities have also been captured by the newspapers. So they have presented in the newspapers. Okay, and we also take them to a lot of rallies, marches, protests, and all of that, because as a student they need to be aware of what's happening in the world. They need to be aware of it. They need to connect with what is right, what is wrong, and also lend their voices against the atrocities that's happening in the country or the world. We also keep them, be sensitive towards climate change and also sensitive towards AIDS awareness. People who suffer from AIDS, the stigma that they kind of go through, to go and tell them, that's not the end of their life, even if they are positive for HIV. Let them be positive for life as to how they can, bear the issues that they have and then overcome those issues and keep moving forward. Okay, and a lot of activities that we do, you could see that it's been covered by various print medias, and that's just a glimpse that I just wanted to share. You do something good, obviously you are going to get the rewards for the same thing. Clear? So what I want to end here by telling you all that excellence in thinking and action is a foundation for any mission. It might sound tough, but you can't just think of something good to happen. This excellence, it doesn't happen by accident. You need to make it a process, a practice, so that practice becomes a best practice which others should look at it and then do it. So this is what I would want to conclude with. Presentations, I wanted to make it more sort of a discussion here. That's the reason I gave some amount of the information from my side. I would want to take the questions from you so that there can be discussion that can go between us in order to help each other understand what practices can be made as the best practices. So I can take up questions if you have any clarifications. I can also give it to you if you have it.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, myself Roshan Kumar Misra from West Bengal.
Yes, sir.
Sir, my question, just like a little bit, you have already discussed everything all there through your presentation. And really, I would like to oblige myself that I am the part of this presentation and webinars here. My first question is, how the new educational policy helpful in higher education in comparison with the old one?
Okay, see, as I told you, the introspection, any one of us, the policies has come in. We need to implement it. We need to carry out the practices, whatever we have. And you already have the data of what has been happening with the older one. Now the new policies has come, will be implemented, carry out the same thing. Little later, the time is only going to be answering your question as to whether the one that has come in is going to be better, or the older one, what we have been following, is going to be more effective.
Okay.
So, because everything that you see is on printed sheet, as I told you, I might have a very good curriculum on paper, but that curriculum is going to be very effective only if the teachers who impart that to the students, if they are very effective in delivering the same thing. So whatever is there on the paper, if you make it engaging, then with the students and all, it's going to be excellent. Hope I answered your question.
Sir, sure, sir. Sir, my next question is, which one is the more beneficial for the student? Year-wise exam schedule or the semester-wise?
I would say semester-wise. Hello, yeah, I would say semester-wise. Okay. See, when you talk about assessment, now I've just conducted 1 hour lecture. I could have done assessments of whether what I'm doing, if you're following or not, every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes, pause and question. Pose a question. If I get the answers from all of them, that means I have done my job correctly. Okay, then I move to the 20 minutes, then I move. So like that, assessments can be categorized where you can assess them by the end of the class. You can assess them after a few sessions, after 1 unit. You can assess them by the end of a particular semester. So when I say curriculum development, your assessment also play a very, very important role. What sort of a lecture am I giving, and what sort of assessment activities I'm carrying it out together is going to tell me whether the education that I'm imparting is good or bad. So your assessment, not only towards the end of the semester or the year, is going to be helpful. You need to have your continuous internal assessment. That's the reason why UGC and all had already come up with this continuous. But again, you need to check assessments you are doing and how are you going to be assessing. There are places, what they do is when I say online, I give them a lecture and I give them a sort of an assessment. That means unless and until they don't clear that assessment, they would not be allowed to move to the next lecture to view or next portion, because we want them to get familiarized with one portion, whatever I have taught, then move to the next, then move to the third one, which is not happening as of now, but we want that to happen in our higher educational system. Hope I answered. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you a lot, sir. Thank you a lot.
Welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Rajesh, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes, Sanjoy. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, I'm Sanjay, a research scholar from Guwahati University. Sir, at the very outset, I thank you for your nice presentation.
Thank
and
you.
my clarification from you so that it is said that in case of semester system, the scoring is high in the part of students, but knowledge is low. Can you comment?
In semester system, scoring is high and knowledge is
high. Knowledge is less.
No. Okay. See, I'm an example of an annual system. My education that I've carried out, my undergraduates, postgraduate, was all annual system. So only when I started teaching is when the semester system came. So when I got into teaching, I used to feel that pressure on the teachers, the pressure on the students in the semester scheme. Okay, because so much is there to whatever is there in the syllabus, which you might have not been carried out properly because of whatever the time, the holidays, the issues that we face and all of that. And by the end, you might have not completed good amount of the portions and all of that. And with that, you ask them the question. So they would learn and they would do it. But in the annual system that I had, it was a little more relaxed. I got enough time to kind of, experiment, retry, learn, get better. And then finally, I'm just going to write the exam. So as a student of the annual system, I really enjoyed that part, that point of time. So now we have semester system. It has positives also at the same time. I wouldn't say it's all negative. Okay, it has both pros and cons. If it is semester, if I
Yes.
look at my structure, my curriculum, whatever the design that I have, I need to make it a little lighter, keeping in mind what sort of assessment that I'm carrying it out. Because if I say only my 1 hour class, I spend the entire 60 minutes only in lecturing, student retention is not good for 16 minutes. That's the reason why even my lecture, I just cut it off for a few minutes, because let there be more sort of a discussion so that you learn through these discussions and all of that. Okay. So when I design my syllabus, if I say 60 hours, that means 60 hours should be a part of your discussion, should be part of your assessment also. It is not only that 60 hours I teach, then additionally I do assessments above 60, where I don't get time. Because I don't get time, I get panicky, students get panicky, the process is all going to be a topsy and turvy. So it is again up to us. As a student, I didn't know these logistics and all, but now as a academician, I can relate well. So whether it is trimester or semester, 2 semesters per year, or annual, it's all to do with how you plan up your events. If you are good at planning your events, if you're good at planning your assessment, all these might be very good, is what I would just say. Sir?
Hello.
You got the answer, Dr. Sanjoy?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes, Sumanesh.
Yeah, sir. I have got one query, please.
Yes.
Sir, so far as the semester system is concerned, I think in colleges it should be discouraged, sir. My opinion is that annual system is far more better as compared with the semester system. Sir, the main reasons are, so far as other curricular activities are concerned. Co-curricular activities, for example, sports and games, as well as the NCC, NSS cadets, they are
Correct.
actually facing a lot of problem in this semester system. Sir, the moment they actually go for these special camps, etc., the overall semester that gets consumed, and their activities, they are involved in their activities and their academics, they are hampered. Sir,
Correct.
my opinion is that in
Yes.
colleges, the annual system is far better as compared with the semester system.
Yes, I totally agree with you. That's the reason why I also said that I was a part of the annual program, where yes, you could really plan things really well. But at the same time, again, now that we have the 2 semesters and all, to come out of the problem or this challenge, planning the activities would really help. Okay, but to be a little more kind of relaxed and all, yes, annual system is going to be working. Now what one has to be doing, that if we have to represent ourselves to the policy makers and all of that, we might have to do a kind of a thorough study. As I said, we need a lot of data for the same thing. Okay, this was a system, this was the outcome, this is the system present we have, this is the outcome. So if several of us who are involved in academics and all do such sort of analysis and present it in form of research articles, so that might have an impact for policy makers to take a decision as to what would be good and what would be less importance.
Thank you, sir. Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you. So I would take those things, might be in my future discussions, whenever I have with other people, I would pass it on and have more discussions on that. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, participant side, anybody there? Any clarification? If you have any doubts, please feel free, ask to the resource person.
Hope you all followed what I presented. You all could hear me, right? What I presented.
Yeah, anybody?
Yes, Dr. Rajesh, any questions? You can. Are there any questions in the chat box?
Yeah, I will check, sir.
If there are any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, please, participants, please ask your questions through the chat box or ask to the resource person. Please, anybody?
Okay, I would request all the participants also, like, to get benefited a little more. As I told you that, we have presented some of the best practices again through for NAAC webinar. It's titled as Engaging Hearts and Minds. Okay, so you can go through that video and go through the entire thing. So a lot of questions were raised again there by many of them. So we have answered those questions. It was some 40 minutes question answer session that we had it there. You might benefit with the same thing. That was with the NAAC associationship. NAAC is also organizing a lot of these best practices from A++ college. Go to the NAAC website. You might get to see the links every day. They're conducting these webinars. Okay, so you may get benefited by attending a lot of these. So kindly do the same thing. There are some hands raised. So if you could just check if they have some questions. Dr. Rajesh.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Really, is it possible to rural area? Yeah.
So sorry, sir, I can't hear your question. It's not very clear. Your voice is not clear.
Sir, it just in the talk he told that students can also go for research in the colleges.
Yes.
Ours is a government college where there will be low funds.
Okay.
Is it possible for the students to go for research, being in such conditions, by having bigger funds?
This research that I'm talking about is like, research. See, these days research, not necessarily it has to be practical oriented. There can also be review based research that can happen, where I can ask students to come up with some recent research articles on a particular topic, say 10 research articles, 20 research articles, or whatever number. So if they can also read those research articles and make a review of that and present, also is going to be excellent.
Okay.
So not necessarily it has to be by thing. And also what we do is, whatever basic facility that we have, we don't impose too much on the management also at the same time. So the basic chemicals that I would have had it in my department, I would make use of the same also to carry out the research. So if their objective can be met with the basic facility that we have from a department, they can do a practical oriented one. If they can't do that, then they can do this sort of a review based. Or if the student can, go to another institute, like, we are a little blessed in Bangalore. There are a lot of other research institutes and all. Sometimes they write to those professors there and they go and carry out a little amount of the work there, come and present it also in the form of a term paper. So there are ways to do it. They can think of doing the same thing. They can also do surveys. Okay, they don't need money and all to do surveys. I have an objective. I just go to different hospitals or different. It depends on the subject that you are. So that also can be presented as a research thing. So you just have to think of the opportunities. Sir.
Yeah.
Hope I answered your
question.
Sir.
Okay, sir. It's okay, sir. Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, participant side, open to all. Any clarification?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Proceed, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir, one is whether the NAAC assessment has any impact in higher education in real sense.
Sir, your voice not clear audible, sir.
Can you repeat your question, sir?
Yes. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Now it's getting better. Yeah, now it's better.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you repeat your question, sir?
Yes. Am I audible now? Am I
Yeah, you're
audible?
audible. You can say your question.
Yes. That NAAC assessment is an actual impact in reality.
The actual impact of NAAC.
Impact.
Hello.
Of NAAC.
Okay. See the actual impact.
Hello. Yes. Yes.
That's a question, right? The actual impact of NAAC.
Yes.
Okay, the actual, see, when I look at the 7 criterias of NAAC, and when I start answering those, that will give me the sense that, there are certain things that we are doing, there are certain things that we are not doing. But those certain things that you're not doing is also important for holistic development of a student. So NAAC, whatever the question that I see, whatever the criteria that I see are very, very relevant in a higher educational system. So if you really, look at those and then carry out accordingly, not necessarily that you need to be 100 on 100. Okay. Even if I have worked on whatever they have asked more than 80%, that means I'm doing. I have done it now with 80%, but I can keep moving till I achieve that 100%. Okay, we have completed 4 cycles of the NAAC, and this has really helped us to grow in terms of our academics, in terms of perception and all of those things. And also, as I told you some time back, it is going to give you a sense of direction as to how good or bad you are. Every time you do the self-assessment. So NAAC, you could also look at as a self-assessment. This will tell you as to what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your challenges. So this NAAC process will make you aware of your strong points. It will also tell you that these are your weaknesses. You have a lot of these opportunities which you have not explored. So why don't you explore the same thing and work on your weaknesses? So that is the impact that NAAC will have when you go through them.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So any other questions?
Yeah, please participation side. Please, any other questions? Feel free, ask to the resource person or through the chat box.
You can unmute and ask also, because there's not much
Hello.
of a... Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Roshan Mishra here.
Yes,
sir. Sir, what are the prospect of the new new educational policy for the present time?
Prospects.
Yes, prospect. As we have already seen the old educational policy, till now we are facing all those things, and we have seen all the systems are there. Then what kind of the futures we can have from this new educational policy?
As I told you some time back, one of the person also asked me the same question. So seeing things on paper, carrying it out, and then getting the outcome, there's still time for it. So unless and until we adopt the same, means we implement the same and get the results, we can't, at least I can't comment as of now. So if you ask me about what has happened in past, I can say something about it. But this is just common. It looks good on paper, but the answer is, when we implement it, what are the problems that we are going to encounter, what issues would come up, and what is the end outcome. Based on that only we can answer. It looks rosy as of now, but time is going to answer. Hope you got the answer.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Sir, is there any difference between IRF and NAAC.
Come again. Can you repeat it?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, what is difference between NIRF and NAAC?
Okay. NRF is a annual assessment. NIRF, it does your assessment. It is National Institutional Ranking Framework. Okay. The criterias are different. When I say criteria, if you look at the NRF thing, they asked a couple of questions, not elaborate as that you see in case of the NAAC. NAAC normally would evaluate you or assess you after 5 years of your establishment and your activities and all. Whereas NRF, it is an annual thing. So every year they are going to assess you. So there are a lot of parameters, which is like teaching resources, and then research publication outcome, then students progression. So then outreach and inclusivity, perception. So a lot of those parameters are there. So they would look at the data what you would be submit annually. When I say annually, they would look at data for the last 3 years, but this is an annual process. Every year they're going to assess or give you a ranking based on how you fare in comparison with that of the other counterparts.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
It's like this year I have got some 1,000 students admitted. 3 years down the line, of the 1,000 students, how many of them have completed the course successfully after 3 years? How many of those students who have completed have got jobs? How many of them have got placement? Okay, if they have got placement, what is the salary that they are earning? If they have got into higher education, where all they are studying? Okay, and then how many teachers have taught that particular program? How many of them are PhDs and all of those? Okay, then what is the financial support that you are getting? The salary of the faculty, the quality of the faculty, all of these they are looked into the NRF. Okay, so they look for that data.
Thank you. It means qualitative research and quantitative research are very important for both.
NRF, I would say it is more of qualitative. It's not quantitative at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only qualitative. You just give them in numbers. 1,000 students came in, 700 students got graduated after 3 years successfully. And this was my approved intake. So many got admitted. So many by the end of the 3 years completed the course. It is all qualitative.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the story.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, no more questions, sir. Anybody there? Participant side? It's okay.
So should we end the meeting, or Rajesh?
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you all audience. So thank you for being a part. Hope you got benefited with the session. So I've shared my mail.
Nice presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to what of them, Mr. Miss V. Anushya. Yeah, Anushya, welcome.
Hello everyone. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, audible, ma. Audible.
It's my great pleasure to propose the oath of thanks now. Saying a thank is a single word to you, sir, but it won't be satisfied if I say a single word thank you, but that you have given such a more knowledge to us. First of all, I would like to extend my thanks towards Dr.Syed Wajeed, Associate Professor and Director IQAC, St.Joseph College, Bengaluru. Thank you so much, sir, for such a valuable information, and all the details you gave were highly useful for those needy persons in such a useful time. Thank you, sir, for your patience answering in the interactive session, and I assure that your knowledge from you is great for all the people around us. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable information.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And
Thank
again,
you so much for that.
yeah,
Good,
okay,
sir.
okay. Again, I thank you, first day resource person, Dr. Syed Muhammad, sir, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Chemistry, Sadakadullah Park College, Tirunelveli. And today resource person, Dr. Syed Wajeed, sir, Associate Professor, Department of Microbiology and IQAC Director, St.Joseph College of Autonomous, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Thank you so much, both of. And I would like to thank our college secretary, Guru Magasa Nidanam, and Honorable Principal Dr. Sundaram sir, and staff members and head of the department Ravisankar sir, and organizing committee members Dr. Mathurai veeran sir and Adaikalam sir. However, thank you so much for all participants and for making this two-day webinar as a grand success. Thank you once again. All of you stand here, national anthem.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Yeah, thank you so much, one and all. We hope to see you next event. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Wajeed sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.